Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and the Ask the Faeries. Normally I would say card reading here, but I'm going to say dice reading today. This is going to be just a general read here for this upcoming week and what perhaps we need to know, whether it be individually or as a world, what we need to know about what's happening. So we're going to look at the past, the present, the future, and any residual leftover issue that perhaps was not covered here. So let's get started. So we're going to cover the past. So this roll is 3/2 with a 3 in white, and this is considered lesser water over fire. Now this lesser water over fire, the key word here would be the diplomat, and it's about placating another person or trying to be the mediator in a situation or trying to soothe other people and how they feel. So even though it might not be what you believe in, it is what you feel you need to do to keep the peace, so to speak. Now this is how things have been in the past, and with the way the world is today, it definitely makes sense, because over the last year and a half there have been a lot of emotions running high, very high, and because of that, we have done the best that we can to keep our mouths shut, to be the diplomat, because it just seemed the wisest move at the time, because it didn't seem like there was anything that could be done to change what was happening, whether it be the face apparatuses or having to stay away from our loved ones because of everything that was going on. Brought up some emotions, but the emotions weren't so overbearing as if we had lesser fire over water. So here we have emotions going on in the past, and it's the emotion of we just needed to gently care for ourselves, okay? And gently support others, despite what we may have actually been thinking. The fire aspect here, for those people who understood from a very early time that a lot of what was going on in the world was not factual, not truly happening, and wanted so badly to share that information with their loved ones, so that their loved ones would not be living in fear. Because water is one of those elements that can definitely carry fear. It can carry healing too, but it can also carry fear. So those of you who knew and wanted to try and take away that fear, even your soft words, your gentleness may not have been enough. And you had to be very careful to keep that diplomat in you, to keep the peace, so that when all is said and done, you would not end up with loved ones who were not speaking to you, or loved ones who were no longer a part of your life because of the differences in opinions and beliefs. This was a place where no one ever thought they would be. Obviously, everyone has a difference of opinion from time to time, but this was world view things, very important to keeping all of us connected. So now we'll move on to what it's like in the present. So this 4 and this 6 with the white 1 is considered lesser Earth over Moon. So the 4 is the Earth, the 6 is the Moon, and the 1 just shows us that this Earth is lesser than the Moon. So what this means is that it appears that we are returning to solid ground, returning to something that we understood to be the way things were normal, what we considered normal, and that we are returning to that, and it appears this way. But there is still a very lingering feeling of strangeness, oddness, like things just still aren't quite as they're supposed to be. And pretty much everyone is feeling it, if in fact they are even partially awake. There are some who are still in a waking dream, so to speak, still not believing anything that has happened in the past, in this past year and a half, could be real, totally denying, or that the chaos that has happened has been chaos that is manufactured chaos, which then when the ball begins to roll, it's kind of like a snowball starting at the top of the hill and gaining snow as it goes down. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's large enough to make a snowman out of if the hill is long enough. And that's kind of what has happened from past to present. Now the snowball is being broken down, and because things were as they were in the past, it is very tempting to just stay in the moon's flow, the 6, in the moon's flow, because moon is about feelings, and moon is about illusion, and moon is about just floating and thinking about higher things and things that just aren't usual. Much better, perhaps, than staying grounded to the earth. You might think that's the case. And, you know, the way things have been going with some people, it is much easier to just float up there like a balloon whose string has broken, to float up there. But if you think that's not a problem, how are you going to get back down? There's the rub. So in the present time, the chaos remains. And for some, it means really pushing to stay grounded. And for others, it is a way to just pretend, continue to pretend that things are all fine and that the chaos is just an illusion, an imagination, their imagination. Life is normal. That's what they want. However, they are slowly floating down. We all are. But there's still that oddness of feeling that we just don't quite know what to do with. We know things aren't finished. There's still somebody pulling the puppet strings. So we know things aren't finished. And there are those who are going deep down the rabbit hole still, because they know that there's more to bring forth. There's more to bring out so that we are grounded, so that we remain grounded and aren't moon-filled. We'll call it that. One of the good aspects about the moon being stronger than the earth at this time is that it is opening up the third eye of many, bringing forth the intuition and awareness of information that might have stayed hidden if this was not the case. So having this is not always bad. However, eventually there has to become a balance between earth and moon. And for some, this is going to take some time to reach that point. They're not going to want to come down, because coming down means they have to feel that oddness, underlying normality, but yet not. They have to feel that oddness, and that's not comfortable. So, what can we expect for the future? Let's check it out. Sorry for the hand. So here we have greater fire over water. So 2 is fire, 3 is water, 6 means greater. This is an indication of people who are determined to succeed against all odds. These dice depict success completely through sheer willpower and drive. These dice are showing a fire that is surrounded by water, even underneath of it, but yet it still rises and burns. This is powerful. Our freedoms have been at stake here all of this time, and we're determining, is it going to go back to normal? Are things, and again, normal is just a word, okay? Are we going to see life resume as we once knew it and better? There's been a lot that has happened through here, and emotionally it has been hard. There are still those who are no longer friends. There are those who have become friends because of all of this. The water is grief and pain for that loss, and for the loss of many things such as jobs or money or home. There are those out there who have been through that. But the stronger fire does its best to drive off that negative emotion and to turn it into more of a fun and passionate energy. Something much more powerful, because higher energy is a way to move forward. So if after all this, if you feel like what you've been trying to present, what you've been trying to share through all this time is useless, and that there's, no cause for hope, and there's no support and no resources, this is telling you that you will succeed. And it is about willpower, and it's about courage, and it's about high energy. And fire and water just, they don't mix, but you've got this flame that is existing in a lake of water. And it's not going out. It has some kind of power of its own. And that is where we are going. We are taking that and bringing back our freedom and our understanding about what being a human being is actually about, and trying to do it to the best of our ability without anger or violence, and that is necessary. So that is a difficult balance, to make sure that we stay a bit mellow, not allow emotions to overrun in any way. That's where the fire has to be stoked, but yet, if necessary, a little water can be splashed on that fire to kind of tone down that emotion, that passion. This greater fire also depicts change and kind of a single-minded purpose. That single-minded purpose is to destroy everything that has caused us to feel less than human, to remove that from our existence. And it is a single-minded purpose, which is a wonderful single-minded purpose, but steps have to be taken. And instead of using water to put out the fire, or water to slow down the fire necessarily, another method must be found. So in other words, we can't go backwards. We cannot change things by repeating and repeating and repeating the same things over and over again. We need to find something different that will make sure that history does not repeat itself, and that what we have gone through here over this last year and a half does not ever happen again. We have the power to make our future that way. So let's see if there is a residual issue to what we've been given here. So here we have lesser fire over water. 2 is the fire, the 3 is the water. We have lesser fire over water. So the residual issue here appears to be that a person may be so stuck in their beliefs, in their what they have been seeing through their news sources. Okay, they might be so deep into that they can't move forward. They can't make any changes. They're stuck there. They are, for all practical purposes, not able to be helped until they can pull themselves out of that state. So what this is saying is, this is the time to seize the fun moments that life has to bring forth. And for those who are still in kind of a home situation where you're not allowed to really go out or anything, you have to try and grab the fun moments, as many fun moments as you can grab, and use that to your advantage, because that will also make changes. You keep your energy up, you keep your vibration up, and that will add to everything that is meant to happen in the present and the future. It will make that continue moving forward, because remember, we are all connected. So those who are depressed and those who are wallowing in what they don't have and what they used to have, and being upset and angry, they do push that out there, and it affects the balance. So if you can take those fun moments and make them fun, keep them fun, create fun moments for yourself, no matter what situation that you're in, to keep your vibration high, will make all the difference, and not just to you, but also to the whole. Because this ending here is meant to be a happy and warm ending to this reading, because it allows water to keep all of the loving emotions, but to add a pinch of fun in too, but you have to let it happen. When those two are together, the fire and the water, and the fire is just the gentle candle flame, and the water is gentle around it. It is bringing families together and letting peace and compassion and contemplation be the focus, rather than anger and violence. And again, we need to get to this point. So much of what has gone on and what is still going on currently is angry and violent. Here is where we want to be. This is the residual issue, because we need to get to the point of understanding the emotion, and to not allow the water to overinflate our emotions and totally put out our passion. We need to have a bit more balance in both to make the world the way that we would like to see it as human beings, to see our freedoms, to see our joy, to be allowed to have joy, to be allowed to have compassion for others, to share with others. That is what we want for our future. So again, warm, fuzzy end, if we can reach that end and understand where all that is coming from, and how Our emotions have been played upon heavily to make a separation and to create anger and to create hate. That is not who we are as humans. We are meant to love. That's why we have a heart. So that is the reading from the fairies for this upcoming week. I hope you have enjoyed the dice, and we will see you again next week. Take care.